This video will cover locating quantitative research in the health sciences database. And we will be searching from the library website at Library.Pace.edu. Before we search, let's remind ourselves what to look for when we're looking for quantitative research. First, there should be the presence and abundance of statistics, and we want to actually check what is being quantified. Second, is it primary research? Is that research being done by the author, or is it a review of someone else's work? Because secondary research alone without other factors is neither quantitative nor qualitative. There are other factors that we need to be investigating. And the method of data acquisition. How was the data acquired? Was it a randomized control study? Was it a structured interview? An interview would be, the data will also be objective. It will feature something easily or regularly quantified, such as blood pressure, LDL, etc. To locate quantitative research, go to the Databases tab on the library homepage. Start by selecting the letter C to find databases that start with that letter, and then we're going to scroll down to use the CINAHL database. Clicking on this link will open it in a new window and lead us to the search boxes. Let's say that your topic relates to patients receiving education on diabetes and rates of hospitalization. You could type in diabetes and then take some of the recommendations from the database, such as diabetes type 2, diabetes mellitus type 2, followed by patient education in the second box, and then finally hospitalization in the last box. In CINAHL, there is a randomized control trial checkbox that you can use on this advanced search page. This is most helpful if you only need to find a few articles to review data methods, and if you're not limited by looking for specific outcomes to answer a clinical question. So let's try our search without the checkbox and look at some other methods of locating quantitative research. I'm going to click search on the right side. So this search returns about 60 results, and at this point you're going to want to take a look at the titles and the abstracts underneath each title to determine whether they're using qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods. So let's look through some of the results. So the first one is a randomized control trial, which tells me that that one is going to be using quantitative data. This one is missing an abstract, and there's not a ton of information there. So we can keep scrolling. I can come back to that one later. This one talks about developing a mobile app, and there isn't much information in the abstract, so I might want to come back again and look at that one a little more closely. And this one, the journal, tells me that it is a qualitative study. And this one is saying that it's motivational interview based. So again, that one is probably also qualitative. So let's say you find an article and you actually want to read more than just the abstract. So you can click on PDF full text. So once I'm inside the article, I want to scroll down and actually go past the introduction and look for the method section. So we want to figure out how did they design their study and what type of data did they use. So this happens to be a randomized control trial about doing a cost-effective analysis. And they talk about how many participants were enrolled in both the intervention and control groups. That's another good indicator of quantitative studies. And they talk about the study duration and how the control groups and intervention groups were designed. And remember from our review of the factors of quantitative studies, there is going to be a lot of data and statistics rather than conversational information. So if we scroll through this and start to look at the results section, you'll see a ton of data and data analysis and statistics. So this one looks like a quantitative study. Another method for searching is to use a row, or in this case, add a new one, and use the terms quantitative research, quantitative study, or quantitative methods. This tells the database that you're looking for any of these specific phrases. Keep in mind that while adding this to your search may help ensure that your results include quantitative methods, it does reduce the number of returned articles and you could miss out on some valuable evidence. Now we can apply that same strategy in PubMed. So you can copy and paste your terms over. You do have to do a little bit of reformatting by combining with and putting everything into quotation marks, but then we can click search. When using the quantitative research study or methods keywords, I only have 5 results. So I may consider taking out the quantitative research and other alternative phrases, and then just looking through whatever search results I have to look at the titles, the abstracts, and method sections to locate quantitative research. There is also an article type section, so I can check the boxes for different study types, which might have quantitative methods used. There's a few that are set out here, but if I click See All Article Types, I can check the box for others and then click Apply to add them to the list. So if I change my search by taking out those initial keywords, I have a lot more results, and then I can scroll down here and check the box for randomized control trial, as well as clinical trial, and maybe a few other article types, and then look through the titles, abstracts, and method sections. To speed up that process, I can also click on Display Options and change the format from summary to abstract. That will increase the number of pages that I have to look through, but I will be able to see in bold the type of study, the title, and then the full abstract, all on the search results page. And then I can also click on search for item directly from here to open a new window to look for the full text if I need it. If you have any questions about locating quantitative data, you can visit the library website and click on the Ask a Librarian button for support.